Hi everybody, welcome to another Zero Streams. Let me turn on the light. And I hope everyone's been having a good Monday. Hello, Master Wheeler. Popping in the chat. Right on time. We're just getting started. I hope everyone is doing alright. Hope everyone's staying healthy. I stayed home today from work because the school is extended break due to the all the disease stuff going on, but I'm looking for stuff to do at home. There's a few things that I can do from home, so been looking around for that. All right, well. What are we gonna do today? So, I forgot I was streaming today until like an hour ago, so I'm not really sure if this will be good, but I am going to be doing more of what I did last week, which was this stuff. So, if you recall, last week I did some outfit designs for my Nuzlocke characters, as if the Pokemon wore clothes and what would their outfits be, and it was a fun little exercise. But since I'm on spring break and technically I have a little extra time and all that, I thought, why not make an actual piece rather than just upload the sketches for the patron who asked for it. So I wanted to do a little scene with these guys, and I thought, if I'm going to do a scene, why not make it a desktop background? So this is my background right now. It's something it's the last thing I painted in Photoshop before I had to give it up and switch over to Clip Studio. I really like how it came out. It was just something that I did on a whim. But it makes me miss the old brushes I used to have in Photoshop. So I'm feeling like a bit of a change. I did a little bit of sketching. So we're not starting from scratch, but I've saved the more difficult part for last, because I didn't quite know what I was gonna do today, and this is what I feel like doing today. So, I wanted to do a little, a fun little scene with the boys, hanging out as if they were people, and I left the background to do, so let's see if I can come up with something fun. I feel like the angle of the floor here might not be correct. But anyways, Watcher Zigzagoon is here. Hello. Wheeler says, I didn't necessarily stay home from work, but I was sent home early. Makes sense. Ow. Are you okay, Ziggs? Leonard said, hello. So no more Photoshop? Yeah. Very sad, but I still refuse to pay subscription prices for things that I used to have for free, and Photoshop is one of those things where I didn't have it for free, but like I paid for it. I had like the CD version of, what version was it? Let me see. CS 5.1, and it's a really old version, but it still worked. The problem is when I got a new computer, it it was no longer compatible with the with the OS. So my out-of-date software could no longer be used. And I didn't want to pay a subscription fee for Photoshop, so I decided to switch over to Clip Studio Paint, which you can pay once and own. And it's been working alright. I haven't figured out yet how to install custom brushes, which I think is a thing that you can do in Clip Studio. Let's make her sort of turning like this. And that way her tail can be like that, and I can make her a little bigger in the background here. Make it overlap a little on that side. Maybe pull it back slightly. So this is a desktop background that I'm making. I left myself space on the left and the right in case someone else wants to use it on the left and right. And now I gotta think of what the background should be. Now I am not entirely sure what it is, but I have in my brain the sort of a vision of a town, like a city almost. What if there's like a vending machine here? Maybe she was like at the vending machine and then the wind blew her hat off. Maybe I should look up some references. Hello, Rat Skull! Hey! OMG! Save July's hat! Hanging out as if they were people. You heard it here. Zero says Pokemon aren't people. That's not... I think it's super immoral and greedy treating programs as services and not products. Yeah, it's like I can understand the idea of charging a subscription if you're constantly like upgrading to keep up with the latest software, but like I don't need my software to upgrade that fast, you guys. Like Adobe gives out a new update every other week, it seems. It's like, how am I supposed to keep up with that? Unfortunately, Adobe is able to do this because Adobe is used so widely in the professional fields. Everyone uses Adobe. So it ends up being you have to get it if you want to be able to keep up and actually work in a studio environment. But since I'm not necessarily in a studio environment, I'm my own studio, so I can decide what I use. Besides, Photoshop has never really been a drawing software, so I guess it was about time I switched to something actually optimized for drawing. And Clip is about as good as they come, I guess. I have been thinking of getting an upgrade on Clip. The current version I'm using only lets me do 1 second worth of animation, which is okay, but I wanted to do this silly thing and it feels really fast. So I'm gonna need 1 more second at least to like kind of spread out the frames. and make it not all janky like that. Okay, hold on. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a gosh darn second. I need to look up City Street, maybe Tokyo City Street. I know Tokyo has a lot of vending machines. Maybe vending machines are such an aesthetic. Yeah. There's a guy on YouTube. What's his name? Hold on a sec. I'm so bad with names. But I wanna plug this one because I enjoy his stuff. If I can find it. He's got a little dog avatar. I hope it's like his profile pic or something, because otherwise I won't be able to recognize it. Mateus. Shoot, I don't know how to pronounce that. Let me write it on the screen. Mateus Urbanowicz. This guy on YouTube, he's also on Tumblr. He does watercolor drawings of cityscapes, I guess you could say. Mostly Japanese ones because he lives in Japan. But they are really, really pretty. Actually, maybe I'll look up one of his pieces because his stuff is an inspiration. You know, he goes out and, like, you know, takes pictures and draws the locations that he sees. So he's not drawing from, like, you know, his imagination. I mean, like, some of it is imagination, obviously, but it's also based on reference, which is the best way to go, I think, is having the reference, but then also, like, sprucing it up. And I'm just gonna maybe find something I can do the same with. I don't really know where my vanishing point is, so I'm just gonna make it up. This is just a silly little illustration done for a desktop background. So it's okay if it's not, you know, like, perfectly isometric or whatever the term, like, in perspective. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna say maybe this is just like a window or something, you know, like maybe there's a store over here and this is like a display case. A mannequin inside or something. I'd say this is the wall. Maybe there's like a poster up here on the wall. Maybe there's another poster that it's covering slightly. Something on top of the... What would be on top of the vending machine? I don't know. Something on top of the vending machine. Here. Let's say the street goes down this way. Maybe there's like a balcony, like someone's balcony up here. Let's say that's the break. Maybe this is where the street meets the road. Is she standing on the road then? Is this like... Let me think. I've made them too close together. So maybe I can shrink her a bit, make her across the street. Let me grab July like this. Shrink-a-dig-a-dig-a-ding. So her foot is right there. And then this is the road. It looks small, but it's like, it's foreshortened. Let's just say that. Let's just pretend that I did that on purpose. And then here looks a lot shorter. It goes like that. Maybe there's a street sign over here. Turn signal. There's a building. You want the building to not go that far. It's a tall building, and then we can see between the buildings over here. Get over there. The street. The door. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat because I'm like trying to figure out the composition right now, and I'm kind of in the groove, so I just want to get down some stuff before I take a break from it, just in case I lose what I'm working on. But okay, it's starting to come together. Okay. Huh. You know, I was actually under the impression that they were in the middle of nowhere or something. Yeah, they could be. Maybe this town is in the middle of nowhere. It's a small town. Just a small town, girl. Sometimes you can find vendors along hiking trails. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I was itching to draw some kind of how do you call it? Urban situation. So, I'll go with this. Maybe hopefully it won't be too difficult. Hi, virus. Sometimes you can find literally the entire world. Oh my goodness. Kronk meme. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. How it's the coronavirus out there. Can we not talk about the CV in chat? All right, that's fine. We'll just not talk about it. I know it's affecting a lot of people right now, so I'm totally fine with not dwelling on that. I'm doing okay. I'm not contagious or contaminated yet. So that's good. Make sure you download your virus protection so you don't get anything over the internet. That's a joke. But yeah, anyway, going back to the whole CP issue, so like I kind of need to upgrade my Clip Studio Paint but I'm not for a very silly reason, and that reason is this version right now that I have is called Clip Studio Paint Pro, and I'm 0 Pro Studio, so it's like Studio Pro, Pro Studio. It's on brand. The next version up is EX, so I'm still stuck on that. I feel like I talked about this last time, but I've been thinking about it all week, you guys. That's how much I've been wondering about this. So I'm sorry if I talked about this last week, but I've been thinking about it all week. I still haven't bought it. It's like on sale right now, I think. It's 50, is it 50% off? I think it's like 50% off Clip Studio Paint. So it's a good chance to pick it up, but I still haven't. How was my weekend? My weekend was good, yeah. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, so I finally, it's happened. They've arrived. I finally have my rats. Rats. Yes, they're here. And they're adorable. I love them so much. I went to the city on Saturday. Saturday was the pickup day. So hold on. Saturday was the pickup day. The breeder lives 2 hours away from me in the city. So I went and grabbed my friend who lives here. She grew up in the city. And we drove down 2 hours. We picked up her friend. We picked up my friend. We got some pie because it was Pie Day. Happy Pie Day, everyone. Sorry, I'm trying to sort out what's in the background here. Maybe a basketball court? Don't ask me how this city planning is. I have no idea. This city plan makes no sense because I don't know what cities look like, apparently. Just gonna put buildings everywhere. There we go. I feel like there should be more stuff in the foreground. So like, if this is grass, that's the sidewalk. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Right, so picked up our friends, got some pie on Pie Day. The people, the pie place that we went to, they were only doing carry out that day. So we were in and out, but we found a nice little like picnic table nearby. So we just sat outside and ate, and it was a really nice day. The weather was great, so that was good. And we hung out until it was time to pick up the rats. Went and got them, dropped my friends off back home, and then we drove home. And I got home around 11 or so. Almost 12. We put the rats in the cage, and watched them for a bit. The younger one, Duncan, he was the first to come out of the carrier and like start exploring. So I thought, oh, Duncan must be the more adventurous one of the two. But as soon as he found a nice little hide, he just camped there for the rest of the night. Domino, the older one, was a lot slower to get started, but he was like, you know, exploring around a bit afterwards that night. So I'm still not completely sure about their personalities. All of Sunday they basically just hid in the this green tube. It's like one of those flexible tubes. I feel like the angle on this bench is not angled properly. Let's see what happens if I flip it. Does everything look terrible? Let's turn the opacity down on this and re-sketch with it flipped and see if anything gets fixed from that. Now, right away I'm thinking... Okay, let me think about this. What if this isn't the street? What if the street is like here? Do they put benches like right next to the street? No, that's a dumb idea. Okay, this will be the street. I just need to angle it properly. It goes like that. It needs to follow this bench because I'm not changing the bench. The bench is where it is. There are benches near the road like that, but they're usually bus stops, I think. And I don't want to draw an entire bus wait stop. If I make everything else just a little bit janky, then I think it'll be fine. It'll make it look like it's intentional, like it's the aesthetic. I don't know how street lights hang. I think they're usually attached to like big old poles. That go like this. There should only be two, shouldn't there? Let's move this one over here. So I drew this as like a 2-lane highway. It's not a highway. What am I saying? 2-lane street. The signs can be on here then. There we go. So then this doesn't have to have road signs. This can be maybe a traffic sign of some kind. And I'll make it facing that way so I don't have to draw what's on it. But yeah, there's this tiny little plastic tube that I put in the cage, and they've just been camping in that all day. In fact, the younger one, Duncan, he likes to nest apparently because he took all the paper that I left in the nesting material I left in the cage and has stuffed it into the tube. Made himself a little cozy camp right there. And hasn't really come out ever. The other one has been in and out, exploring a bit. So that's good. The first night, the first like day and then last night, I was worried they didn't know how to use the water bottles. Cause I didn't see them drinking from the water bottles at all. And then when I put in some water in like a dish, they immediately start drinking. So I'm like, oh no, are you thirsty? Did you not know that there was water? So last night I put some chicken baby food, some meat baby food on the tip of the water bottle, so that when they lick it, they'll like hopefully accidentally lick the ball and make the water come out. Domino has figured out that water comes from there, so he's been drinking from the water bottle. I have not yet seen Duncan drink from the water bottle. But hopefully, now that Domino knows, he can show him how it works. Let's look at what you guys have been talking about. So, how about Pikachu? 50%. So I saw or heard, I found out when I checked out that what I missed out on on yesterday's episode of Weekly Anxiety. In any case, yeah, rats! Pi Day, yeah. 3.14. It's Crocker Day. Pie is good. Maybe an Oreo cheesecake. 3.16. Today is, yeah, but on Saturday it was Pie Day. By the way, on an unrelated note, Austin 3.16. 316. Austin 316 says, I just kicked your butt. Just throwing that out there. It's a wrestling thing. Yeah, sorry, I don't get it. March 15th is the Ideas of March. The Ides of March. I know because I like to listen to that song by Vehicle every March 15th. The Saturday, some friends came to my house to play board games. Sunday, went to Medieval Fair. Today, we took all stuff from work, and I'll be working from home at least 2 weeks. Wow. Also arrived a package from my brother in the US with a cool t-shirt bought with a design from a Mexican friend. That day, Julius Caesar was famously murdered. Yay, Mexican artists! Wait, that's me yesterday. Caesar was assassinated on March 15th. Hi, Nose Forums! Oh hey, is that you, Tails? Is that Tails? Hi, Tails. Okay, so, anyway, back to rats. What was I saying? Okay, so today I let them sleep during the day, and then, right before I had dinner, I decided it was time to take them out. There's a thing with the small animal community where you like put them in a bathtub with like some blankets down, and it's an enclosed space that they can't escape from. and it's open so like they can't hide from you, and basically it's to encourage them to interact with you instead of just hiding all the time. So I decided to free range them in the bathtub. I laid down some blankets, I got some food, and I scattered it around. And then I had to catch the rats. So Domino was actually easy to catch. I waited until I saw him come out because he's actually been in and out. He'll like wake up occasionally and explore. The problem with Domino has been whenever I got close to the cage, he would run straight for the tunnel and just hide in there until I like leave, and then he'll come back out. But he just woke up and I guess was like eating something or whatever, so I caught him pretty easily actually, and then I tossed him in. And then I had to get Duncan. So Duncan I hadn't seen in like at all today, because he just stays in like deep in that tunnel and he doesn't come out. Like maybe he did come out, but I was not watching. So anyway, as far as I know, he's been in the tunnel all day, and I'm like, how do I get him out? So first I shook the tunnel a bit so that he came to the edge, like the opening, and then I reached in. And now here's the problem. Duncan is not human shy. He's just shy of me. So like he's not, how do I say this? He's in the tunnel, right? He's too afraid to come out, but he's not afraid enough to run away from my hand. So like here's the tunnel, here's Duncan, and like I'm sticking my hand in to try and grab him, and he's too far in for me to get my hand around, but he's not like escaping further so that I can get him from the other side. He's just kind of like, I'm just kind of pushing his face with my hand. He's just sitting there letting me push his face, so I can't get him out. Wait a minute, Sir Francis is supposed to be wearing pants. I can't remember what the clothes is. Okay, so he has a belt. I need to remember the outfits that I gave them. I think it's a belt. But eventually I got him to the edge of the other side, and I was able to get my hand around him. I pulled him out, stuffed him, threw him in the bathtub, and I just sat on the outside of the bathtub and watched them. My sister was there too. She really likes the rats. She was originally on the camp, ew, rats are gross, but then when I started talking about wanting rats, she looked up some like YouTube videos and found out how cute they were, and she's like, oh. And then by the time I got my rats in, she was like more invested in the rats than I was, I feel like. I mean, that's kind of impossible, but like she would ask me constantly if I had gotten them yet and like when they were coming home. So it was really fun. She's allergic to like everything, unfortunately, so we're still a little cautious. She's been washing her hands real good afterwards. I mean, you should like do that anyways, because the rats will pee and poo on everything, but she needs to be especially careful. Hasn't had a reaction yet. She has picked them up, so we're hoping maybe the rats aren't carrying whatever enzyme she's allergic to that, you know, cats and dogs have. I don't know how it works. But she was there too, and we just kind of let them run around. I would occasionally pick them up and then put them back down again, because I want them to get used to me picking them up, but I didn't want to, you know, hold them for too long in case they got distressed. Just taking it easy. And then when I put them back in the cage, they seemed well. They didn't immediately run back to their tunnel, which was a great success, I think. It was a very short session today in the bathtub, so tomorrow I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna do it for a little longer. Maybe I'll sit in the bathtub this time. But that's been today. Have you drawn your rat babies yet? I haven't really. I did draw, like, sketched them a little bit, but it was mostly from, like, memory. Domino especially has a lot of speckles, so I missed a whole bunch of them. But eventually, once I can get a good picture of them, I will definitely do little drawings of them. My plan for the streams, because I'm so bad at reading your comments in a timely manner, my plan is to eventually be able to set up some kind of rat cam and have that on screen while I catch up on your chats, so that you're not just staring at nothing. But unfortunately my room is really dark, so it's kind of hard to see anything. Especially the way that I have the cage set up, there's a lot of stuff blocking other stuff. So I haven't gotten it to work out yet. But hopefully. That is one of my plans. And then my studio assistants can actually assist me in the studio. All right. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back up on the chat. Just scrolling up. Tails the Impidimp. His eye indeed, the Impidimp. You're a, what's it called? A Grimmsnarl now. Tails here to officially represent the Nubs forums. Yep. Come back from dinner and heard. Okay, anyway, back to rats. Perfect. Sure, yeah. Not here to meme at Zero at all. Rascal, that is absolutely perfect timing. Ah, Domino is shy. Zero for the ending of your stream today. Would you doodle your boys for us real quick? Of course! Oh my goodness! I would love to. I named one Domino. Yeah, that one's Nipples. The one with the nipple spots. Zero shy. He was comfy in the tunnel, okay? It's like when you're in the blanket and all comfy. He's like, no, I don't want to get out. Like, I literally reached in and had to drag him out. That was how much he didn't want to come out. I could feel him, like, gripping the sides of the tunnel. And the tunnel's, like serrated like this. You know, so there's a lot of grooves for his little paws to get into. They're really well handled though. Like they are very comfortable with being picked up. They are little like they run away when I try to get them, but again, I think that's just they're in a new place. I'm a new person. They're not used to anything. They're kind of scared in that regard. But like once I get them, they obviously they struggle because they're babies. But they, they're very good. No biting or anything. They will test nibble my fingers when I stick them through the cage because I've been like handing them Cheerios. So I guess they haven't like learned what the difference between a Cheerio and a finger is yet. But man, you guys, it's been getting stinky though. Like I don't know if this is just the normal smell that I'm supposed to get used to, but I can immediately smell the pee. I'm hoping eventually if I can get them to actually use the litter box, then I can just clean the litter box occasionally and like help bring the smell down. But otherwise, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait until I don't smell it anymore. But I instantly recognized that there was some kind of odor. Though before I started smelling the pee, I actually like was already gagging on the smell of meat baby food. You guys, meat baby food is disgusting. I cracked open that jar and it was like, woo! The stench that came out of that jar. Oh, baby. I don't know if my rats are just too shy right now to eat, but they haven't been eating very much. Like I scattered a lot of food in that bathtub, and they only like nibbled on maybe 1 or 2 grains. It doesn't look like their food dish has gone down very much. And when I tried to get them to eat the meat baby food right off a spoon, they just kind of, or at least Domino, just kind of sniffed it and then like ran away. When I left a bowl, not a bowl, like a smear of it on a plastic plate, and I put it in the cage for a little while, they did eventually eat that. But it wasn't like they smelled it and like instantly ran over and tried to find the food, And that stuff is stinky, so it's impossible that they just didn't notice it. I'm wondering if they're just not food motivated or if it'll like come out later. Glad she's seen the light. Have you drawn your baby rats? Light of rats are good. Yes. How you ever remember your however did you remember your stream with those cuties to distract you? I guess I have you to thank for that, Tails Imp, because I did not remember. Yeah, I was like, gee whiz, what will I draw today? I was not prepared to stream at all when the time came. I have a couple of things to work on this week. that's making it a little hard to concentrate on actual work. I have the Nuzlocke, obviously, to work on. That's always there. But then I also have... Sorry, I'm trying to think what's going on here. Yeah, so I'm working on the Nuzlocke. I have this that I wanted to do. This is a Patreon request, so I did need to do this week. And that's why I'm doing on a stream, because I'm like, well, if I need to get it done, I might as well do it here. I designed the outfits on stream last time, so there's a little bit of a excuse why I could work on it now. And then I also have a commission that I was asked to do. There's that. I have the shield thread to update. I have a lot of new Pokemon to draw for the last episode's update, because I made a whole new team, right? So I can't wait to draw the Grimmsnarl. Like, that's one of those Uggo Pokemon that I'm like, can I make this Pokemon a little more endearing, at least to myself? Aside from the design, the Pokemon itself has been pretty good. I like that it can learn all the punch moves. I like that it's a fairy dark type. Okay, let's see what Bill Dog's wearing. He's got goggles. I consider getting distracted a mood. Yep. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Shame your room is dark. Mood. Actually, I hate doing computer work in a bright room. And actually, looking around me now, I just noticed that my room is also dark. So my built-in webcam probably won't be much good either. Not that I ever intend to use it. Man, I feel like a Grimmsnarl today. Oh, I'm sorry, Nuz Forums. I mean Tailzimp. Really now. I had to reach in and drag him out. Oh, like my mom with me in bed when I was little. Cause again, bed comfy. I have a friend who recently, and I say recently as in like 2 years ago, became a mom, and on the rat server, a lot of people there talk about how their rats will sometimes sleep in odd positions that makes them afraid they're like dead. Like they'll be on their backs with their feet like straight up in the air, and they're like, oh my goodness. And I'm just like thinking of my friend, because she told me that when her baby is sleeping, sometimes she'll put her finger under the nose to like make sure it's breathing. And I guess that's just a thing that comes with parenthood. It would appear. It is something that human and animal parents need to experience. I don't know what that is that I just added, but I'm just making up stuff. Maybe there's an overhang. Maybe this is like a cafe down here. You know, like they do. Maybe there's like a recess in there for some reason. Shoot. I think that works. Do. Let's see. No, Mom, no! That seems to be him holding on the tunnels to avoid getting dragged out. Sounds so cartoonish, it's hilarious. I'm glad it like didn't traumatize him. The last thing I want to do is like do something like chase them around and try to grab them, because I feel like that would spook them. Also good to know the breeder made sure they were handled well, so they're used to people. Yep. But grabbing onto surfaces as you drag them seems to happen more than in just cartoons. Maybe in the meantime get an air freshener. I can't do that. Rats have very sensitive respiratory systems, and scents will drive them crazy. I don't know if they have like scentless air fresheners, but I don't know if those are okay. If like they use some kind of chemical in the air, you know, to make that fresh. What I do have is a bowl of baking soda. I put a bowl of baking soda just on top of the cage, and that's supposed to lock in odors. Baking soda isn't good for rats, so some litter. When you go to the pet store, some litter that you use for like cats and stuff will have baking soda in it, and you can't use that for the rats because it's some kind of toxic or whatever. I think Fire Dog's outfit is the one that I can remember the least because it's so simple. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just kind of random articles of clothing put together. Baby food smells gross. The deepest level of rat wisdom, knowing the difference between a Cheerio and a finger. Too much rat admiring to be properly prepared for the stream. An excellent problem to have. Yes, I just want to watch them all day. The entire Nuzforms is a Grimmsnarl today. Truth comes out. Grimmsnarl confirmed new Nuzlocke icon. All new parents are they dead? Oh. Would something like a car air freshener work? No, those are usually the smelly ones, right? That's most unfortunate. Digimon protagonist. Love how Firedog always looks so done with the world. Isn't and every outfit throwing random items of clothing together. That's true. That's a good point. I mean, mine are definitely. I don't have any kind of... Okay, that's not true. Wait, let me think. I do have some sort of reason to my quote-unquote fashion. My outfits are usually a undershirt of some kind that's like a t-shirt, some kind of sweater or sweatshirt or some kind of like a looser shirt on the outside, and then a open sort of shirt, either a flannel or any shirt that's like button down so I can have it open over that, and then my jacket, which almost never comes off unless it's like summer. And it's just variations of that. But you're right, every outfit is basically just a manner of shirt and articles of clothing, which is why I'm pretty bad at outfit design. Alright, so scarf on. Wait, is he wearing... Okay, he's got a jacket on. Is it a long sleeve jacket? Yes, it is long sleeve. Uh-oh. Wait, does he have... Okay, okay. Something like this around. Jacket. Slightly poofy sleeves. I think something like that is what he's got on. And then what is... Okay, short sleeve shirt, open vest. Shirt, short sleeve shirt, open vest. He is sitting on a chair, so I gotta make it a little bit scrunched up. I'm eager. Wait, what are you eager about? Hold on. What? Just finished a Nuzlocke page. Good going, Wheeler. Woo! Good work. Thanks. I'm close to the point where I can start drawing my first Nuzlocke pages. Want to get out there soon so I can be rolling before summer hits. Oh my goodness, look at you fly. One more page and the chapter's done. Aw, yeah. You can do it. Eager for a new Nuzlocke run. Oh my goodness. I hope you have a great success. Are you going to try and, like, create a buffer before you start posting, or are you just gonna go post by post as they get finished? Guys, did I talk about Blood Blockade Battlefront last time? The anime that I had been watching? Did I do my final report on that series for you guys? Because I know I've been, like, kind of updating y'all as I go through, but I forget when it was, but we finally finished that series. Wait, now that I think about it, I couldn't have told you guys last time because we finished it this week, I think? Shoot, now I don't even really remember when I finished it, but needless to say, we've already started the second season and it feels like purgatory. Now I kind of understand why I could never really ever get a solid answer when I asked people, hey, this show, is it good? Should I watch it? I, like, never could get a straight answer for it, and now I know why. Because after I finished the show, I had 3 people ask me, at separate instances, whether or not it was any good, and for all of them, I was just like, This show is all style, no substance, I feel. And I think there's a manga for it. There's a manga, and I don't know if the manga is the same, you know? I feel like maybe it's possible that the manga is has more, like, actual plot or something, and they just cram too much of it in. But, like, the anime is all over the place, but it's almost like on purpose. So I can't imagine, like, did they just decide to do that with the anime, or was the manga also like that? If I had to, like, make some kind of analog, it's like anime Adventure Time, in that there's definitely some kind of serious plot going on, but we're not following that. We're following the guy delivering pizza, or we're following you know, not so important to the plot characters, which was great. Like, again, style, no substance. It is a style that I enjoy, though, so at least there's that. And I told my friend after we watched it, I'm like, I can't even really be mad, because at the very least this show gave me a excuse to watch that ending 12 times. There's 12 episodes, I think, in season 1. So yeah, I got to watch the ending 12 times, and I got to listen to the opening 12 times. So you know, and I definitely watched it those more than just that. So can't complain. Can't complain there. Seriously though, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend the ED for Blood Blockade Battlefront. It's a lot of fun. And then we decided to watch the second season, and the second season is not very good. Mainly because they changed the ending and the opening. And it's just so bad. It's like way worse. Like, I knew you couldn't top it, but did you have to phone it in that bad? Oh, you know what? Maybe a trash can. Maybe there's a trash can right here. Like a rubbish bin. Make one of these kinds. Let's extend that out. Okay. Might create a small buffer because IDK what might come up in terms of IRL stuff. You never know what might get in the way, and I'm not sure how well I can realistically keep to a schedule. We'll see. Are you going to have a schedule, or is it just going to be like you'll upload whenever you finish an episode? I think when I first started Jet's Black Nuzlocke, I did have a monthly schedule. I don't remember if I started by saying I was going to do a monthly schedule, but I do remember posting at least once a month. And then it like slowed down to just whenever, and then eventually that slowed down to at least twice a year. So like, I'm pretty sure I was posting monthly in the very beginning, but I didn't make a promise to. It was a bit of a big deal for me to switch to a monthly schedule, because I think that's when I stopped school. I think I graduated, and that's why I decided I should be able to do that. And I remember being really nervous, but having that sort of deadline really helped me not slack off. And everyone works differently. Everyone is motivated differently. Some people like crumble under the pressure of a deadline. So it's definitely not for everyone, but it worked wonders for me. And I also gave myself a really long deadline. Like once a month is it's tight enough that I can plan for the whole month, but not so tight that I feel like I'm dying every month. Though I think with the length of my episodes, if I were to switch to a weekly, or let me think, maybe even bi-weekly. How many weeks? So there's 4 weeks in a month. Times 2, that'd be 8. So I would only be posting like 8 episodes a month. I would be swimming in extra pages if I did that. Because each of my episodes is usually between 8, like, I want to say 16 to 20-ish is what I aim for. Some episodes go even longer. I've had ones that were like 25. But the idea of posting constantly drives me up the wall. Like I am not the kind to be able to do tasks like that. Posting once a month is about what I want. I tried to do like weekly updates when I switched over to Tappas and Smack Jeeves and Webtoons. Basically, I switched over to I didn't switch over, sorry. What am I saying? I was reposting old episodes. Sorry, my brain farted for a second there. I was reposting old episodes, and since they were all drawn already, all I had to do was like cut them and post them. So I'm like, okay, I can do that once a week. Oh, that was annoying. That was super annoying. Maybe it would be different if each one was new. Maybe if I knew that every single one that I was posting was absolutely new and that people were like, you know, reading it for the first time. Because I think on Tappas and Smack G's or whatever, I definitely had people reading, but it's like I've gotten comments on these episodes in the past. It wasn't like the first time for me. And before you say anything, I know there's I know they have the schedule options, but even with the schedule options, like even with the ability to schedule posts ahead of time, I was still I was still struggling to keep up with it. don't know if this makes sense at all. Is that how it should look? No. No, this is right. It's weird. Maybe I need to move the trash can over. It's creating a bit of a tangent line that I don't like. Right about there, maybe. And then I can get rid of this. Make this a little wider. Maybe it's a recycle thing. Da-da-dee-da-dum. I'm gonna try for once a month. It seems both frequent and feasible enough. Depends on the size of your updates. I think if you're doing like long updates like I do, a month is a good amount of time. Always find going from a schedule to whenever ruins my mojo and I slow down a ton. I guess what I want is like consistency so people know when to check in. That's good, yeah. That's definitely good. That's what's important to me. Is the consistency. I don't know if you guys know Awkward Zombie. It's like a gag comic strip sort of thing, but they post once a week, and even though I don't check in every week, just knowing, oh, it's Wednesday, there must be a new Awkward Zombie. I can expect to see something new even if I haven't checked in a while, because I know that every Wednesday there would have been a new one. Okay, time to flip back around. I'm like imagining a cat sitting up here, but when everyone else is a Pokemon and they're also a people, seems a little weird that one of them is just a cat and not a people, so maybe not. What if, there's like an alleyway right here. No fence here. Maybe this is a dumpster. Right. That's a really wide alley. Hold on. Hold up. No, that's not how it works. Dumpster would be like this, I think. what else to put there. Maybe on the side here we have some windows. And then there's the... I don't know how it works, but you know those escape ladder things? And maybe some more here. So there's like 2 rows of them. Is that how it works? Maybe that doesn't look too good. Up here there's another balcony of some sort. Someone's, you know, apartment. What else? Let's put some stuff in the vending machine. Oops. Okay. Sorry, guys. Only thing scheduled later for me is work. If I can get all of chapter 2 done before it starts, probably gonna up to twice a week. Nice. With like all of the comics you do, Wheeler, I'm surprised you can even do weekly with any of them. Rascal says, oh, hey, question. Is there a specific resolution you'd recommend doing pages on? Also, twice a week is super fast, so congrats to you if you can. You had to cut your pages. I don't know about you, but what killed my motivation to upload Pokemon Yellow Nostalgia Lock. Pokemon Yellow Nostalgia Lock. Sorry, I had to think about that for a sec. Q&A to Tumblr. Also, I have no clue if it's a good size or if you're going for standard page sizes, but my pages are 1500 by 2112 pixels. I have trouble with consistency, to be honest. I do know Awkward Zombie. They're funny, right? I've followed their stuff since they were on DA. Percy's Purloin up there lurking. Can't say I know Awkward Zombie. Surprised I can too. Awkward Zombie's hilarious. You should check them out. My pages, basically think about what size maybe you want your final print to be. Even if you're not gonna print, think of a print size and then make it at least 300 resolution and you should be fine. My first pages were done at 700 pixels across, by however long it needed to be, and then it was like 72 pixels per inch, and they are incredibly small. 72 is web resolution, so it'll look great on the web. In fact, you should probably downsize your images to 72 before you post them on the web. But it's too small for printing. Now, better to have more resolution than you need because you can always downsize. Once you've downsized, you can never go larger. You can't add pixels that you don't have, basically. So keep that in mind. Better to, like, just have to throw away some extra pixels when you post it than to be like, oh no. And by throwaway pixels, I mean, like, you know, downsample to 72, but then, like, also keep a version at 300 somewhere on my hard drive or wherever else it is. Now, I post long pages, but I draw my pages, in smaller chunks. And I think the small size is like 7 inches. I feel like that's about right. 7 inches across by 11. I think it's like 7 by 11. I can't remember for sure. Let me look it up real quick. Alright, if I go to Pokemon Nuzlocke, Nuzwork, let's pull up episode 74. So my resolution is at 300. My size is 2100 by 3300. In inches, that's just 7 by 11. 7 inches by 11 inches. When I post, I changed my resolution to 72 and I changed my width to 700. And you can do that because even though you're not supposed to change this number up, I am starting at... well, it doesn't work anymore because I threw it away, but I was starting at like 2100, so I can tell it to throw away a little less. If I do that, I think it changes the physical size, but that's okay. It doesn't change it to that, though. Let me see. If I do that... so you'll see it'll shrink on the screen. You'll actually see it shrink, and that means you've thrown away that extra information. I had 300 pixels per inch, and I decided I only need 72 pixels per inch, so everything extra, I just toss. And once you throw that away, you can't get it back. But, okay. So now if I put that to inches, it's now at 9 by 15. So you'll see the physical size actually increased because when I changed it to 72, the pixels went down to 500. And I increased it to 700. So I technically increased the size even though it is, quality-wise smaller. And that's fine because I'm posting it on the internet. And, 72 is, 700 across is what looks good on my website. And it's also what's consistent with everything where, like, DeviantArt and everywhere I post the Nuzlocke, it is at 72. So, that works for me. kind of want to put something on the road, but I can't think of anything. So, with that, it's time to do the line art. You find out what works for you. I'd say always draw larger than you need to, and then you can downsize. But don't go too large or else your computer might start to chug. Wheeler's surprised too. I've just been doing weekly for ATD weekly and Golden Sun every other week, and I've been finishing them so fast that I got a 7-page buffer for ATD, a 6-page buffer for Golden Sun. Oh my goodness, you're a monster. And that's starting February with no buffer for either. Be right back, says Leonard. Ratsko says furiously taking notes. So moral of the story is it's better to have it higher res than need be because downsizing is always an option. Yes. Downsizing is always an option. You cannot size up. Actually, I did that when I did this. Aww, that mud chop looks so cute. Yeah, I think on DeviantArt, one of the sizes is 600 and another is 900, and 600 is too small for me. And then it lets you do a custom size. But the default ones are like 600 and then 900. I forget why I chose 7 inches by 11 inches, but I always like to go by inches rather than pixels when I'm talking about like print and comics and stuff. And then I talk pixels when I have to post online. So, because I am eventually planning to print a copy of my Nuzlocke, at least for myself to have on my shelf. I wanted to make sure it was the right size going forward. I think I went to a print house, a print company rather, and I looked up their recommended sizes, and 7 by 11 was like a standard, I don't know, manga size maybe? Some kind of standard size. But I'd say I'd say a normal sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11. So that gives you 5.5. Right? And then the margin is 0.25, a 1/4 inch margin. 0.25. And that goes all the way around. That's what can't be printed. So really, what we have is 5.25, I guess, each. Wait, so if it's actually 10.5, 10.5 in half is 5.25, right? Yeah. So 5.25 is the actual size of this dimension. Up and down, this will be 8. So 8 by 5.25. And then if you want to include like a bleed, which is a part of the image that can't be that is meant to be cut off, So, here's some graphic design terms for you. Let's say this is a piece of paper, right? And then you print your design in here. So this is your image. La la la, this is an image. If you then have to cut the white part of the paper off and you cut here, you might miss slightly and you'll get like a bit of white on the edge of your image instead of a full bleed, and that doesn't look great. So it's better to cut slightly into your image so that there's no white left over. But if you don't want to lose your image, then you would include what's called a bleed, which is part of your image that is meant to be cut off. And then when you get your crop marks, it'll go into the bleed, and essentially you cut at the crop mark. So what this means for comics is if I have like a word bubble that's really close to the edge, you know, like this is a word B. This won't be good because when I send this to the cutter or to the print shop and they cut it, it might cut off my words, you know? So what you want to do is keep your dialogue bubbles at least inside of here and no words in this area, like all your words safely within the page. That way if I do lose some of the bubble, I don't care too much. With my comic, unfortunately, I don't have a bleed included. So when I send it to print, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my 7x11 image, and then I'm going to add a black border around it. And then my comic's gonna be in here. Because my comic, as you probably know, doesn't have a gutter. The comic pages are the panels rather are split by just black lines. I don't have a space in between my panels like that. So I think this will work for me. If I have an extra like bunch of black and then they just cut the black and I end up with like something like this on each page, I think that'll work fine. That's how the book will be, basically. Which is definitely a look. It's not a look for everyone, but I think it'll be fine. Alright, to make this quick and simple, I'm gonna try to just do everything with one pass. It's already giving me trouble. Okay, there we go. Oh, wait. Hold on. His cheek is over here, so that means his chin would go like that, I think. His popsicle's melting a little because he's made of fire. No, da dee da dum. Anyway, let me check. Da da dee da da. But she ain't got nothing on Rhonda. Oh, Watcher, is that your DA? I've seen you in Nuz comment sections all the time. OMG, I love Rhonda from Liberty. Rhonda being the machoke in Liberty Soul Silver. Oh, you know her then? Yep, that's me. Oh boy, geometry. Yeah, I have a lot of trouble with skizzers. But that didn't stop me with helping Mom prep her parcels for delivery. The benefits of having comic with white borders. Speaking of which, she's doing a lot better now than she was before. All right, this is all really useful knowledge and I appreciate it. Oh, I'm glad it's helpful. In the words of Mouse, this is fine. In the immortal words of Mouse. This is fine. Shoot. His hand looks like cartoonishly small, but I'll leave it. I'll leave it. And then so for this current episode that I'm working on, I think it's like episode 78, I had planned to do, I was supposed to be good. I had planned to do the dialogue first. But I was like sitting there trying to type out dialogue and like I couldn't picture the scene, and because I couldn't picture the scene, I couldn't figure out what they were saying and like how much space I would have, or like when I don't have something grounded to like write for, my dialogue gets really long-winded. So I was like typing full-on paragraphs and for some sections, and then for others I couldn't think of anything at all. So I just tucked tail and did whatever I usually do, which is draw first and dialogue later. I'm going to try at least to get the dialogue done this month, so that when I finish the line art and the color next month, I don't have to do dialogue on a time crunch. Because that's usually what happens, is I get to the end of the month and I don't have dialogue. And so it's like I need to post and do dialogue at the same time. It's not really good for the creative juices, we'll have to say. So I went to see Sonic again for the third time. Cause on Saturday it was actually still in theaters. I was planning to see Onward because it had just come out, and like we were afraid that Sonic wasn't going to be in theaters when we all got together. And it was going to be kind of a... It's terrible to say because it's like Pixar, but none of us really wanted to see it. So it was going to be like a sort of mutual suffering kind of thing where it would at least be something new and interesting to talk about. Like, 3 of us had already seen Sonic the Hedgehog, 1 of us hadn't. So I had planned to see Onward as the event planner, you know, that's what was on the itinerary. At the last minute, we found out that Sonic was still in theaters. We missed the Onward showing that we were going to go to, so we decided to go to Sonic. And I have to say, it was better on the third time. When I saw it the first time, it was amazing. I was like blown away by it. I was singing its praises on the high places. Yeah, it was like, it was an experience. The second time I saw it, unfortunately, I didn't like it as much. And I was very sad because I thought maybe it was like maybe I was overhyped or I was underhyped. Maybe I like, you know, something happened. I don't know. Either way, somehow I didn't enjoy it as much. But this third time, like, the magic was back. It was just as good as the first time. It was great. Having friends to laugh at it with. When I first saw it, it was just me. I went by myself on the night that it came out. Sat next to a kid next to me on my left, and then behind me, in front of me, like a family with like really young children. I think the family in front of us had to leave before the end for whatever reason, but they seemed to be into it. Like the dad was laughing at some of the jokes, so it wasn't just like the kids were there for the movie. But yeah, like, I think what happened, and I didn't realize this would be such a big factor, but I think what happened was the second time when we went to see it, the theater was packed. And we were rolling in last minute, so the only seats that were available were literally on the second row from the screen, off to the side. It was like really hard to see anything. I had my neck craned back. It was a theater with one of those reclinable seats, so I had the seat reclined all the way back. I was, you know, like craning my head. My eyes were watering, and it was just too easy to like miss everything. It was hard to see anything on the screen. And I think maybe that is why I didn't enjoy it as much, and I didn't realize that was the case. I thought maybe it was because of the story, or like I just like maybe it wasn't that good. But I have a feeling that maybe it was the seat. Maybe it was where I was in the theater that affected it. In any case, I don't like this new choose your seat before you go to the theater. When we were like the second time I went to see Sonic, when I was buying the ticket at the stand, they like pulled up a map of the theater, and it's like pick your seat, and we had to like pick our assigned seats, and it's it's like I need to see where the seat is in the theater. I can't reasonably judge. I mean, I know why they do it if it's like a packed theater and you know, at least you're looking for a specific assigned seat rather than like shining your light at people. But I don't know. It's hard to say where which row I want to be in. I definitely know now that definitely never on the front row. I'd rather be like on the far left or the far right as long as I can be slightly back from the screen. Well, in any case, I'm still not super interested in seeing Onward, but a lot of the theory channels that I'm following on YouTube are starting to post their theories like, oh, how does Onward fit into the Pixar theory? Or they're doing like reviews like, Onward, is it worth the hype or whatever? And like, I want to see these content, but I don't want to get spoiled to the movie. So I'm just like in this purgatory of I don't care about the movie enough to see it, but I care enough about it not to get spoiled. So, you know, you'd think like, oh, well, if you don't care about the movie, you just like watch the videos. And I've done that before, but like with Pixar, there's always that how do I say it? That like smidge of a hope in the back of my mind that maybe this one is good. You know, maybe they'll have captured the old Pixar magic and made a movie that is both heartfelt and fun and thought-provoking or just a good time. I don't really know what I or anyone means when they say like the old Pixar magic. Trying to like I don't know if I could pinpoint exactly what about the old Pixar movies that made them really good or what about the new ones that I don't like. There's just something that feels almost disgenuine, is that a word? About Pixar movies these days. Like, I feel like they're trying to make me cry, or, you know, it seems like they're trying to make a meaningful statement rather than just making a meaningful statement. And I don't know if that's their fault or not. It's possible they're just doing what they've always been doing, and like our perception has just changed. But it's almost in the acting of the characters, in the way they look, in the way they act or speak. I don't know. This is not fine. I do dialogue in the sketch phase. Onward was amazing. I loved it. And also cried non-stop. Really fun and funny and emotional. Made by people who were clearly passionate. It's a bit short, under 2 hours, but I feel like it does what it wants to do to tell its story and doesn't stretch it out needlessly. And it's also an original story, which I don't think we've got. No, that's not true, because we had Inside Out and Good Dinosaur, and Coco. Okay, never mind. We've been getting some originals. We've been getting a lot of sequels. That's why I got a little confused. But no, we're good on original properties as well. But I've had someone say to me Onward is more DreamWorksy than Pixar, and they said it with like the tone had me believing that they meant that as a negative. But then I was like, well shoot, I like DreamWorks stuffs, and like I haven't been enjoying Pixar stuffs lately, so maybe that's a good thing. But I won't be able to say if it is or not until I see it, obviously. But like, yeah, it's just interesting enough that I do want to see it, but it hasn't driven me to the theater yet. Instead, I saw Sonic the Hedgehog a third time. But if you think it was good, then that's a glowing review right there. It's a little weird though. Like sometimes I wonder if it's just me, if I'm the cynic who like can't enjoy movies anymore. Because like it's not just Pixar. I think Miyazaki fell into the same camp for me, where I didn't really like his newer stuff, but other people did. It wasn't like Good Dinosaur, where everyone basically agreed that, okay, yeah, they weren't doing too good there. It was like most people agreed that it was they were good movies, and I'm just like I don't like I don't like them. Is it me? Am I the jerk? And it's not like I'm hard to impress. I liked Cars. Shoot, I even liked Cars 2. It wasn't an amazing movie, by any stretch. But it like entertained me. And it didn't seem like it was trying to be what it wasn't. I don't know. Oh, it was really weird seeing My Hero Academia in theaters though. Like I didn't see the movie, but like seeing it on the playbill, that was a little funny. You know, the more I draw rats, the more I realize Pat Rat and Watchhogs are really not rats. They're more like groundhogs. Ugh. And groundhogs are actually a kind of marmot? Are they marmots or squirrels? I think they're ground squirrels. I think marmots are the term for ground squirrel. Unless I'm mistaken. Ooh. I'm having a little trouble with the feet. I mean, I saw the first previews and I was like, this is dumb, but I was looking for something to spend time with. So, okay, and it really impressed me. You know, that's interesting because that's exactly what I felt about WALL-E. WALL-E is one of the best Disney Pixar movies, and they cut that trailer really poorly. Like I had no interest in seeing WALL-E based on the trailer. So, yeah, sometimes you can't judge a movie by its trailer. Watched a lot of Cars back in 2006. Cars was my jam back in the day. I even watched the Lego Racers games because of it, and it even got me into Excel Racers for a time. And Hot Wheels World Race, was gonna say Meerkats. I mean, Watchhog's name is just Watch Dog, Groundhog. Yeah. Pretty sure that's what they're supposed to be. There's actually a type of animal that's literally the white-tailed prairie dog. That's what Pat Rat is. I'm fairly certain the prairie dogs might be a type of ground squirrel. I think. I actually saw WALL-E, and the trailer did leave me misguided. Yeah, it made it seem like WALL-E was up to no good. It was like being a silly robot causing trouble. The humans were gonna be the bad guys and like gonna try and catch him. I think there's at one point they show the scene where spoilers I guess for WALL-E, but when the autopilot takes control and locks the captain in his brig, he rolls over to the door and he's like, mutiny, this is mutiny. But in the trailer they cut that scene and had him go, catch that robot, and then it shows WALL-E like running from the sentries. So it made it seem like he was trying to capture WALL-E for doing something, and I actually am not a big fan of the whole cute character causes mischief kind of character. So I was like, ugh. I like Ratatouille, obviously. I mean, that's no surprise, right? I don't know. I might say I like Ratatouille better than Wall-E. But objectively, I'm not sure which one I would say is like the better movie. I haven't seen either in a long time. So I would probably rewatch it before making a judgment. Wall-E and Ratatouille are some of the best movies. And then you have movies like Monsters Inc. and Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo I put in the same camp as each other. They give me same like energy vibes. They're good movies, but most of it is just silly hijinks type stuff, and I have to be in the mood for them. Incredibles kind of rides the line in between. Incredibles is a incredibly good movie, but it's also a bit depressing. So again, I have to be in the mood for it. Of the sequel prequels, if I can recall, I think I liked Monsters Inc.'s best. And then Finding Dory, and then Incredibles. I did not like the Incredibles sequel. Alright. I went and stole your Incredibles pun. Ain't I a stinker? Alright, how much time do I have? It's almost 10. I have 30 more minutes. Let's see if I can at least get the characters done. kind of symbol should I have on Sir Francis's hat? Maybe the jet badge. Oh. One of the things I love about Wall-E and Ratatouille is there's like almost no scenes that gives me secondhand embarrassment. I think a movie that gives me secondhand embarrassment is the that's usually the main reason why I refuse to watch or like rewatch a movie. And it happens a lot. The closest scene, I guess, in Ratatouille is when Linguini's like asleep and Remy's trying to pretend that he's awake, and Carlotta's like talking to him and thinks he's awake. Ooh, that scene gives me the GBs. I do not enjoy that scene. But like it happens pretty fast and gets resolved pretty quickly. In a pretty dumb way, but you know, whatever. The ending saves the character for me, so I'm okay. I can't think of any scene in Wall-E that has that problem for me. In Kung Fu Panda 2, there's a scene where Tigress like gives Po a kung fu hug. And that scene is like, it almost does it for me for that movie. The rest of the movie is really good though, so I usually just kind of hold my breath while that happens, and I can make it through. What's another movie that has gonna either say the symbol in Ash's first hat or his newest? The old Pokemon League. I never remember what exactly it looks like. Okay, so it like... something like that. Everything over. It's off-centered. You can tell because of the brim. I think that's better. Don't know how to get Sir Francis's tail to look like it's on the ground. This is the best I got, unfortunately. Have a hard time bearing nostalgia at times, much to the chagrin of my mom. I really like Ash's newest hat. I don't know if it actually is, but it kind of looks like it's something you'd see in old concept art from him. First being designed, so it simultaneously feels nostalgic and completely fresh and new, since I don't think I've ever seen a Pokemon hat with that kind of symbol. Are you talking about this hat? Yeah, it's like a Kodak camera. It's like like some kind of webcam or something. Very interesting. Do 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 do. Some pebbles in there. I kinda made his arm a little too short. What do you do? what to do. I'm trying to... There's like a lot of just empty space. I'm trying to think of something to put on the ground maybe, or what, but let's focus on getting the characters done. I hate drawing glasses. Glasses are some of the worst things to have to draw. And there's like a whole fashion about glasses and like different styles. So I ain't got time to research any of that. Just draw what a generic, what it looks like in my head kind of style glasses. As long as you can tell what it is, my work here is done. Ooh, the babies are moving around. I can hear it. I can hear it. I'm like, part of the problem with lighting the cage isn't just shining light at it, because I can do that. It's the fact that the bars are in the way, and like the way I organize the stuff, everything's like hanging in the way, and like casting shadow from the light. And also, you know, I don't want to shine light directly on them, so I'm also kind of blocking the light a bit. I might need to get myself another tripod. I got this sort of, what was it called? It's like it's not a studio light necessarily. It's like a cheap version of a studio light. It's marketed for vloggers, but it's just this little light pack that I got from Best Buy, and it gets pretty bright, but it has to be attached to something. It can't just like stand, and it didn't come with any kind of attachment. So yeah, I might pick myself up an additional tripod for that. I told myself I would give them all hats, but I guess Fire Dog is too cool for school. I ain't gonna bend to your rules and conventions. Can't tell how I want the jacket to fall. You're so silly. I'm definitely gonna have to hook up some kind of camera. I did buy a camera. I got a Logitech 920C? Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. It's one of the Logitechs. I had bought a Logitech a long time ago for art streaming. I got it so that I could try to stream like live drawing, you know? Live drawing, is that the right term? Like traditional stuff. And it was a terrible quality. Like I couldn't there was no focus at all. It just looked so bad. So I returned it. And so I was like put off of Logitech for a while. But I think what happened was I got too cheap of a model. So this time when I went to the store, I decided to get the next price up, next model up or whatever. I hooked it up, and I also realized that lighting has a lot to do with the quality of a camera too. You can have the best camera, and if your lighting is bad, then you're out of luck. I think what finally got me to realize that it might have been like other factors other than just the camera was when I first got myself a webcam. That was the first time I had to purchase any kind of camera, and so when the quality was really bad, I was like shocked and upset, and I returned the camera. But then last year when I did the Inktober's, I borrowed my friend's actual camera, like her legit photography, still digital, but like DSLR, Canon, Rebel something camera. And like I know the Rebel series is a little on the cheaper side, but it was still a Canon that you would expect some quality out of. And because my lighting situation was so bad, it was still terrible quality. Like it wouldn't focus or anything. And I'm also starting to wonder if maybe it's also that the cameras are just not built to capture something like a flat surface, like a drawing pad, paper and such. So it very much may not have been the camera's fault. We'll never know, because I returned that camera and instead I got this other one. And I was going to test it out, but my mom, because of the whole like virus scare, Chinese school was canceled and my mom had to do it online, and so she was looking for a webcam, so she borrowed mine, and I just keep forgetting to ask for it back. I like, before getting myself a webcam, I did quote unquote borrow my brother's webcam. he wasn't using it. And I quickly found out why he wasn't using it. It was even worse quality than the first Logitech that I had bought. So much so that I might have thrown it away, because that's the webcam my mom was looking for when she came to my room. And since I had no idea where I had put it, possibly in the dump, I offered my new webcam. So oh, that anime though that I was talking about earlier, Blood Blockade. I do recommend watching it dubbed. I don't know if the dub is good voice acting wise, but the sub is just how do I say this? Like, this is a show that, like Adventure Time, has the it has the essence of a story of lore, but where it shines is like when the characters are just hanging out, having a good time, getting a burger. But there will be times when it tries the lore dump at you. And when I get lore dumped something I don't care anything about, and it's okay, it's not even that I don't care at all, it's that the story doesn't seem to care, and that it doesn't care if you understand it. It's like, this lore dump isn't for you, it's for the other characters. I get the feeling that they are they're giving exposition. I don't know. They're talking to each other, and I'm not supposed to be listening, because they're using words that I don't recognize. They're like saying all these like names, and it's not terrible in concept, because I like it when a story feels like I like when the world feels like it's real, like it's big, like the characters. I hate being talked down to by characters, like we have to explain, like when a character will explain something to another character and they start with, well, you know how, and it's like, well, if they know, why do you have to explain it? And it's clearly they're explaining it for the audience. So like, in a way, I can appreciate that they're not hand-holding me, but it's also kind of frustrating because it's so much nonsense after a while. My eyes just glaze over. Like, I can't read that much exposition. I think the dub would be so much better, because then they'll just read it to you and I can at least like absorb some of the information, whereas in the sub I have to like actively pay attention, and the screen, there's like so much stuff happening on the screen as well. This feels like advanced anime. I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I feel like I'm taking advanced anime and I forgot to take the prerequisite. Unfortunately, I can't find the dub anywhere, and the only place I know where I can watch it legally is Funimation's website, and only the first 2 episodes are available for free. The rest you have to be part of their subscription to watch. And I'm not about to pay to torture myself. Funimation also says there's a 3rd season, which I have not seen hide nor hair of on Crunchyroll's website. Crunchyroll is where we're watching it currently. It is subbed that we're watching, and it only has 2 seasons. And I feel like I'm in purgatory. The 2nd season is so hard to get through. Me and my friend tried to binge it twice now, and we've only gotten through like 4 episodes at a time. I think we only got through 3 episodes one time. And then we were like done. But I just need to see it through. It's like got me hostage. Gonna take meds, be drowsy by curfew, clueless as it gets. Give me a sec, let me decide if I want to put grass here or not. Trying to make it look like it's flat on the ground. That's pretty good. I don't think I want to make it look like cobblestone. I want it to look like pebbles. So I don't want to connect all of them. Trying to decide if I want to go into work tomorrow. I should probably stay home tomorrow and then go in on Wednesday. because there's still a few things I can do work-wise from home. So best get those done and then make a list of everything I have to go in for, and just take care of those. Man, I miss my Photoshop brushes. And they were so easy to pick out, too. I need to, when I get a chance, I need to learn how to download custom brushes on Clip Studio. Because I think there's quite a big, brush library and, like, resource library that I'm just not taking advantage of. Clip has this weird system called materials, and I always get confused how it works. That's not what I want. Sure, I don't know what this symbol is that I made, but it's a symbol, and now it's on here. So, yeah. Let's put another one over here. Looks like a 9. Put some grass. No, cars on the road, it seems. What kind of cars would Pokemon even drive? What if their cars looked like Pokeballs? Like a little buggy? Like a little punch buggy, but it's like red on top, white on the bottom. Okay, Sidewalk continues. And there's so much space over here. Ugh, what do I do? What do I do? Well, I think that's good enough for now. I think next stream I will finish this drawing the line art, throw some color on, and then next week I believe will be after the New Horizons Animal Crossing game comes out. So I will finish this, and if we have extra time, I'd like to play around and do some Pokemon in the New Horizons, or not New Horizons specifically, but like Animal Crossing style. I will try to look up some references and see what they, like kind of study the style a little bit. But like I promised, try and draw my rats. And I'll be taking requests on that. So if you have a Pokemon that you would much like to see in the Animal Crossing style, bring that with you next time. And if we can finish that desktop, then I'll be asking y'all to toss them my way. Got big old feet, but I don't know what position to put them in. Who here's gonna get Animal Crossing next week? Unfortunately, I won't be able to play with any of y'all. I don't have Nintendo Online currently. My brother does. So if we end up playing on his account, I don't know how that works, since I think each console gets one account. Maybe like the person who has it will get to play online, but the others won't. I don't know. But in any case, his account has it right now. Mine doesn't. Once his Nintendo Online subscription runs out in November, I think. I'm going to cancel his and get the family plan. I originally didn't get the family plan because I didn't think I would ever need to play online. But then Pokemon came out, and I was like, oh no. I need help with the raid battles. I think I can still get help local play. Like, if I bring my Switch over to a friend's house, we can do local play. But ain't nobody's gonna do that in this day and age. What with the plague. So, yeah. That's off the table. Alright, good night, Zigzagoon. Let me scroll back up. Cool clothes are cool. So before I go, I just want to point out that when I got home from work today, I found that my laptop had failed to enter sleep mode and its battery drained entirely because my charge plug is quirky these days. I was mildly annoyed. So tonight, I'm gonna try to put it on sleep mode manually. Also, hey Leo. Ha 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 ha. Punch, buggy, Pokeball. I can't. Thanks so much for streaming. Yep, I'm gonna just finish up these rat doodles. Rat-tastic. Rat-tastific. I don't know, sorry. Me. I'm gonna buy it online pretty soon. Plan to get it for release. Me neither anymore. I mean, mine ended at the end of January. If the accounts are on the same console, I think with the weird way Animal Crossing works, it may work for that game specifically. I will have to test it out. I will be able to test that out because my brother has it. I don't. It will definitely be a experiment. Yeah, I still wouldn't put you know, the save files online. I don't really trust the way they like just straight up delete your stuff if you don't renew on time. I'm not sure if it's like your whole save file or if it's just a backup, but either way I probably don't need it anyways. I don't know. The only reason I want Nintendo Online right now is so I can play Pokemon with friends. But I also got my brother Splatoon for Christmas, and that game is like impossible to play without online. It's like not even a game if you don't have online. There is a single player sort of campaign, but it's not that interesting. Though also, to be fair, I never quite got used to the camera. The way the camera works these days is you can usually change whether or not going left and right makes the camera follow your follow the same movement. Like if you turn the joystick this way, the camera pans this way or this way. I don't remember which one I like, but what am I saying? I basically with cameras, and Breath of the Wild had the same issue. With cameras, I usually have to go in and switch it to reverse controls because the left and right aren't the way I like it. But then the up and down also become messed up. And the up and down usually I need to stay the same, the way that they default programmed it. So there's like no winning. Either the up and down is messed up or the left and right is messed up for me. And Breath of the Wild had it. I kind of got used to it. But then when I put it down for a long time and came back when the DLC was released, I had forgotten how to play that way, and it was a nightmare. I couldn't even beat normal bosses. So yeah, I hate it. Pokemon also has the same issue. At least with Pokemon you can also reverse up and down, but it reverses it the wrong way. Like in how do I say it? In the wild area, it's third person. So I need it to be I need the left and right to be reversed. But then when you go into the campground, they it becomes first person, and then I need it to be not reversed, and it's just kind of annoying because then I have to like change the setting. Okay, unfortunately, I put them both on their bellies, so you won't be able to see their patterns. I didn't think this through. Put a little bit there. I don't think it quite extends that high up. But, I'll just pretend that it does. And his whiskers are a little curly right now. So Duncan the younger is supposed to be a Rex. He's not very fluffy right now, but his coat is a little curlier than Domino's. You can't really tell though. I'm wondering if it will get curlier as he gets older. Now Domino, he's got some fun stuff going on. I think he has a spot on his cheek. He's got a spot on his head. Oops. And then he's got kind of a cape going on, like this. Oops. Not the ear. Ah, not the ear. I'm kind of doing this just off the top of my head. I don't know how accurate this is. He's just a cow rat. He's got spots all over the place. It's gonna be impossible to like get all of his patterns. I don't know where everything is. So I'm just kind of throwing stuff in, making stuff up. But it's something like that maybe, and then the rest of him is like white. So we'll just throw in some white there. And his nose is kind of white too. He's got, I guess, a little bit of pink in the ears. Maybe I'm projecting. Maybe I just imagine rats as having little pink fingers and hands, so. And then with Duncan, I think Duncan's tail is a little lighter than the rest of him, I want to say. Oopsies. He's a Russian blue, which means he's basically a gray that's a little bit on the blue side. Oopsies. But since this is a cartoon, I can make it more blue than it actually appears. And nobody can stop me. Is that all the holes? Nope. Where's the holes? I need to fill in the holes so it doesn't color everything. Nope. Still got holes. Where are the holes? There we go. And, lest I forget, he actually has little white socks. I think they're pretty white, actually. Which, maybe his belly is also that color. And maybe his tail as well. Something like that. I think that's what they look like. As far as I can remember from the short time that we've been together. I will draw many more rats in the future. So don't you worry about that. And that's the stream. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Oopsies. Let me just catch up with the chat real quick. If the accounts are on the same blah 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 night, ye with the weird way Animal Crossing works might all have it. Different villagers, if I'm understanding things correct. Online saves its backup, not move it there. You forgot because I remember telling you this at a stream before. The motion controls cow rat with a tiny hat and holster, maybe a vest. Ooh, that could be fun. Those are some good kids, pure babies. Thank you for the stream, and thank you all for coming. I will... Oh man, there's so much to do before next stream. I will try and have some kind of rat cam for next stream. I really want to, but that'll all depend on lighting and in this situation. But yeah, I'm posting pictures on my rat blog, what's it called, Studio Rats, on Tumblr. I think I also started an Instagram, but I haven't posted much on it. It's Zero Pro Rats, I think. I'll have to get back to you on that. But have a good night, everyone. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.